For a long time, I thought this place was mostly about growing food, you know, tomatoes, potatoes, eggs, milk, meat, whatever. But after a tornado, a flash flood, sick animals, broken fences, and watching my family step in when life got hard, I started to realize something. This farm was growing something much more important than food. It was growing us. Because the thing this farm did that I didn't see coming didn't show up in the garden. It showed up after the tornado took out the barn. It showed up when 9 inches of rains fell in just a couple hours and the creek took out 100 foot of fence. It showed up during livestock emergencies, broken equipment, and all the other little problems trying to live like this. But most of all, it showed up in the people standing next to me when things went wrong. This farm didn't just feed us, it built us. And I want to tell you exactly how that happened. When we started down this road, the reasons were pretty practical. We wanted to grow our own food. We wanted a little more control over where it came from. We wanted a simpler life. And those were all really good reasons, and they still are for that matter. But they were also incomplete. Because we were thinking about what the farm would produce. We weren't thinking about what it would do to us. That part snuck up on us. And it took years before I could see it clearly enough to really even talk about it. I want to tell you about a moment that I think more about than almost any other moment here at the farm. I was working at the other end of the property, way over there, fencing I think. Anyway, it was something that needed doing and obviously wasn't going to wait. And I didn't know at the time, but back in one of the barns, one of our does had gone into labor. Now my grandson and his little sister found her. Now, his little sister was young. And what they didn't do was come and find me. Also, what they didn't do was panic. They did what needed doing. They stayed with her. They helped her where they could. They cleaned up the baby goats. And by the time I got back to the barn, it was over. There were baby goats on the ground and 2 kids covered, well, in whatever you get covered in when you help deliver baby goats. I didn't teach a class on that. There was no lesson plan. The farm put them in a moment and they rose to it. Because enough hard moments before that had made them ready for such things. And that's what I'm trying to talk about. It wasn't just that they had helped with a goat. It was that they didn't freeze. They didn't wait for somebody else to take care of this. They stepped into the problem because the farm had already taught them sometimes you just do what you gotta do. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you're subscribed. We spend a lot of time talking about and growing food and raising animals. But sometimes the most important lessons from the farm have got nothing to do with either one. Here's what I think is actually happening on a working farm. And I don't hear many people talk about it. Most of us live in a world where hard problems have a workaround. Something breaks, you call somebody. Something goes wrong, and there's a process for it. There's usually another layer of support between you and the actual consequence. Farms don't work that way. When an animal is sick at 2 in the morning, you don't have the option of calling customer service. When a storm rolls through and takes out your fence and your livestock is heading Lord knows where, you don't get to schedule that for a more convenient time. You figure it out, or you don't. And the consequences are real either way. Dealing with real problems that have real consequences builds a kind of strength you don't get from an easy life. Not because hard things are fun, trust me, they're not. But because working through them and coming out the other side teaches you something about yourself that you just can't learn any other way. It teaches you that you can figure it out. I think about this a lot when I watch my grandson work. He's the oldest. He's been on this farm long enough that the farm is part of him now in a way that's kind of hard to describe. When something needs doing, he just does it. That didn't come from me sitting him down and explaining a work ethic. It came from years of this place asking something of him and him answering. And his little sister's right behind him. Same farm, same hard moments, same lessons being written into her whether she knows it or not. The world is going to hand them both plenty of situations they didn't plan for. That's just life. I can't protect them from any of that, but I can put them in a place for as many years as possible where the expectation is you figure it out. Where hard is normal. Where showing up matters. You know, I've seen this in bigger moments too. Earlier this year, Julie, Mrs. Possum Ridge Farms, was in surgery. And life doesn't stop on the farm when something like that happens. Animals still need feeding, chores still need doing, gates still need to be checked. But the farm didn't stop, and family stepped in. My oldest granddaughter, Hamish, took care of the things while we were gone. Nobody had to hand her a detailed set of instructions. Nobody had to explain every little thing. She already knew what needed doing because she'd been part of it for years. Standing there at the hospital, it hit me that what we'd actually been building all this time wasn't just a farm. What we'd been building was people who could carry the load when somebody else needed help. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts farming can give a family. Not just skills, not just food, people you can count on when life gets hard. That's what this farm is underneath everything else. It's a place where families learn to work together, where skills get passed from generation to generation, where hard lessons don't just test you, they teach you. And this is not according to some grand plan, not because we set out to teach a life lesson every day, just because work demands something of you. Animals depend on you, the seasons don't wait on you, and we certainly didn't plan that part. We were just trying to grow food and live a life that made sense to us. But looking back now across all these years, all these seasons, all the things that broke and got fixed and broke again, I can see it clearly. The most valuable thing this farm ever grew was never in the garden. Looking back now, the food we grew is gone, potatoes, tomatoes, and all that goes with that. We drank the milk, the eggs, well, we ate all that. But the skills stayed, the memories stayed, and the lessons stayed. And when I think about everything this place has given us over the years, that's the harvest I'm most grateful for. I'd love to know if you've experienced this on your own place or even in your own backyard garden. A moment where something hard taught somebody something that nothing easy ever could. Please leave it in the comments. I read every one. And if this video meant something to you, please share it with someone who's thinking about this life. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd be glad to have you along for the ride. From all of us here at Possum Ridge Farms, until next time, I'll see you down at the barn.